All right, all right. I think we might be ready to do a live stream here. Get to hear me rant on about some silliness, about a lot of stuff that I can't prove. It's Trust Me Bro Science with your host, Alien Ed, and I also have my dog hitting his button to talk, so he is going to be asking for snacks during the stream. Here you go, Bentley. Come on, you get up here. Yeah, the camera can't see you. Maybe it's for the best. Hey, so what do we got going on? We've got this video that just came out. We've got some scientific reports that came out. I'm always here to brag about what I think are my finds. Sorry, I've been real busy since September. I have turned Tridactyls into a full-time job, and so I am doing my best to find out as much information. Again, I have my magical hat of woo today. I learned this from Professor Dungeon Master. He has his magical vest. So this is going to protect me from your mental attacks. I have it lined with tinfoil, I'm sure. So we just watched a video recently, and let's go ahead and share the screen so we can all be on the same page together. And so I get to practice to see how quickly I can share a screen without pissing off my audience. Do I even have an audience? I don't know. Well, here we are. So we have Dr. Richard O'Connor talking about the Nazca mummies. I actually couldn't watch the whole show. I missed the beginning. I missed the end. So it's like a sandwich without bread. I had the luncheon meat, and hopefully that was enough to sustain me. So Dr. Richard O'Connor, it's always good to have anyone with a DR in front of their names. I have a BA in front of mine for bad attitude, but he's got a DR, so that's always good. And so it was just good for him. He kind of rehashed a lot of stuff. So I think we're a lot of us are going to be doing that. We're going to be sort of rehashing what we've learned over the course of this. Of course, some people, I say the course of the last year, but some people have been into this whole Tridactyl thing for 7 years or something, huh? Maybe I can do a split screen. Boop, boop. That way I can be a part of it. Oh, see, but then the split screen, then I get all cut off. There's my world. My world is gone. There we go. So we've got this Dr. Richard O'Connor. Let's go ahead and click on that and just let's see what happens. And let's see if you haven't seen this, maybe you should. All right, so this is taking us to YouTube. Does this still share the screen I have? Ooh, sorry, that's Bentley going on. No, it doesn't share the same screen, so I have to hit a button again. Let's go. I'm having fun. I'm having fun with all of this stuff. At the end of the day, that's the truth. So we are going to share this screen.
Changing for the better.
They know I was talking about my dog because they just showed a dog commercial. So let's just see what we got from here. I am not familiar with this show. Oh my God, they're showing the cake. That's too funny. with the X-Files stuff, I guess this is what I missed at the beginning.
Now I'm pretty hungry. I must admit, though, I did think the whole thing.
It almost looks like I'm on the show with him, so I'm going to stop.
I never covered it on the show, but it turns out that I was likely wrong. And today we have Dr. Richard O'Connor, medical doctor, MD, to discuss the peer-reviewed paper that concludes that these mummies are actually not made of cake, but they're rather real corpses of what appears to be extraterrestrial beings. So, yeah, pretty crazy, huh? But first, please hit the subscribe and thumbs up buttons on YouTube. Leave a comment and let us know what you think about this episode. You can also find us on X or Twitter at Good Trouble Show. And of course, everywhere else, we're at The Good Trouble Show. Maybe one day Elon will up the number of characters that you can have for your X handle, so I can have them all match. You can also find us wherever you enjoy your podcasts. Just search for The Good Trouble Show with Matt Ford. And as always, we need your help keeping the lights on.
So anyway, we have this show. I don't know much about it. I don't know much about the guy, but we do have a doctor that was on the show, so that's good. So definitely watch that. What is the link for that? Who is this exactly? That's a good question. It's called The Good Trouble Show with Matt Ford. I'm not familiar with it. It looks like he does a lot of UFO stuff. I'm really not a big part of the UFO community. I just started getting into this recently because of, I have an anthropology degree and my interest in tridactyls. So what are we going to do today? We are also going to talk about, I do want to talk about a couple of things the doctor said that I didn't like. I don't know about you guys, but when anyone talks about like cattle mutilations or crop circles, I don't know, I kind of tune out. I know I've got some weird theories. My theories, though, involve such cool things as, hey, have you seen this groovy tridactyl fetus? Let's watch that again.
Known as Artemis. The eggs appear to be in a state of hatching over there. What one expects to find in the eggs of a tridactyl are pig dragons.
Pig dragons.
Pig dragons were made by the Hongshan culture circa 3500 BC, give or take 1,000 years. Oh, is that one there? Let's follow that anomaly, that appendage off of the large mass of egg. There it goes. We have the upper view. Looking down. Or looking upwards at its chin. Is that a face of a tridactyl fetus? Is this the face of a pig dragon?
I do want to go back because I'm surprised. There's a paleontologist I know, and there's a couple of paleontologists I know. I happen to know one who's kind of somewhat famous, Bobby DePalma. I believe he discovered the CT extinction line, I believe, if I'm speaking correctly. He was on Attenborough, but him and I don't always get along, so he has stopped answering my text messages about the tridactyls because he thinks it's all BS. But another guy, I'm surprised that he is not interested in this shot alone. I mean, what does this look like to you guys? And I'm talking about the top of the shot there. I'm not sure if I can somehow zoom in, possibly. Is that possible? It's a little better, I think, right? So check that out. I'm surprised in the upper left-hand corner. I think I photoshopped this out before, so I apologize. I didn't want to take off I wanted everyone to know that it was the Institute, the Ankari Institute. Excuse me for belching. But to me, that looks like a profile view of a tridactyl being, the so-called pig dragons. Yeah, I was already prepared to look for this. The myths and legends of the world have not been disappointing me. Okay? It was thanks to such myths as Dagon and Oannes about post-deluge tutelary beings coming out of the ocean and teaching man everything there is about culture. So these tridactyls and their benign, angelic, dare I say, faces are also, I believe, the inspiration to your mermaid myths. That's them. And of course, siren calls. We've heard of siren calls. I don't know what kind of noises these things are making. I've hypothesized that the language of the Kung, the San Bushmen, their click language is probably evidence of what the Tridactyls actually sounded like. I know that sounds bizarre. We have a lot of bizarre theories here because it's the constant companion theory. We believe that I always say we, it's just me. I believe, if you believe with me, then it's a we, I guess. I believe that these beings have been with mankind for thousands of years, since at least 3500 BC, and we can see the evidence of them in 3500 BC in the Syrian eye idols. I'm going over to my page, though, because just another great example of, I think, why I think that these beings are just all encompassing. So look at this wild artifact here. Let's see, am I sharing properly? Share this tab instead. Now, if I just leave this on, I wonder if it'll bring it out to me. Here we go. So check this out. So this is a close-up of a statue. That didn't really help. This is a close-up of a statue, and how pleased was I when I saw that this statue that I found, because I only found the statue in reference to dragons, Chinese dragons with striations. Striations like muscle striations. So I noticed in Artemis's eggs, as well as Josephina, her eggs, I noticed that there were striations. I have my +1 magic hat on today, so you guys can't hurt me if you don't think this is true. My +1 magic hat told me that those striations might be depicted in art, and we found them. Oh yeah, we found striations depicted in art. Let's see if we can find some of that. Yeah, let's go. Da, 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 da. Don't mind me if I sing the A-Team theme song. Okay. Let's look at striations real quick first. Then I got so much. Like you guys are like, what is that? What is that? What is that? Okay, so these sort of patterns here, very reminiscent to like muscle striations. Is there any more of these? Here's another one. All right, super interesting. So I went looking for these striations. And sure enough, you can find them in artifacts, as I was hoping. Let's see. Where's the... Yeah, see, that's why it's good to share things. I think it's I don't know, you tell me. Is it a good idea to share things over and over again, or does it just, that doesn't help? All right, so we found this... Nope, that's the video of it. We found this one artifact, and when I say we, I mean me. And here we go. You should be able to see this now. It is some sort of a dragon beast. It is being born from an egg of quartz. And what I see is a bunch of these striations. What's interesting too, even the curves of the striations are like reminiscent of what we see in the fleshy masses. An unofficial quote there from Terry Jamin, fleshy masses. Also, this statue appears to be depicting little eggs. So we have also we've found eggs in some of the media here. Let's see, hey, here's some more striations and dragon art. There you go. So we should add that to our list of things to look for when you're looking for tridactyls in art. Because there's a lot of different things you could look for sure. Let's go back in our media here. I just want to show you real quick too. It's kind of small, but notice the geode at the bottom. That's what lies underneath the statue, is that geode. That's kind of cool. So, you know, some people get it twisted and think that maybe I found this statue first, maybe, I guess, and try to fit the statue into my belief system, if you will. Because it is kind of a belief system. I've said that to people. If you don't believe the science, if you don't believe the reports, then you're relying on faith and a belief system. I didn't believe that the beings are real at first. There's enough experts coming forth. So we were looking for striations. We're looking for eggs. That's another thing we're looking for. Can I show you guys some eggs? And if you're watching, please drop a text message. I will put your text message on the screen. Give me a shout out. I would love to have you on the show, and for you guys to just share your opinions is fine too, especially if I know you, right? So going back to my screen here, I am looking to share with you the possibility of eggs within the eggs. Now, I guess it's not that big of a deal to some people. Let's see, does this show any? Not really. Let's see. Well, this is a close-up, and of course it's a little faded, but this is what appears to me. It appears to be eggs within the eggs, which I think is unusual. Now, of course, they say, mammals are born with ovaries, so is it that unusual? I don't know. But if these beings can self-impregnate, if they go through parthenogenesis like a Komodo dragon, it's kind of intimidating how many numbers of the species. Oh, let's talk about that. So there's constant talk about the different species of tridactyls being found. Personally, I think if they all have tridactyl limbs and similar skull structure, and that's not including the hybrids, of course, because the hybrids are going to show traits from both, I guess, primate and from tridactyl, if I'm not mistaken. But I think calling the ones insectoids when they have 4 limbs like the others, same skull structure, tridactyl limbs, I think calling them insectoids, it's just a little weird. I think we got to get away from that, because to me, 5th grade science says the insects have 6 limbs, right? So my theory is the so-called insectoids, their lower parts, their abdomen, may have inspired this piece here. This is one of those Hongshan artifacts, supposedly. Okay, I don't know. I don't have any provenance on this. I can't. Provence, is that how you pronounce it in French? Provence. I don't have any backup paperwork to say this is what it is. It is cool, though. There is what looks like to be a juvenile fetus-like pig dragon on there. But I wonder if this is meant to emulate the abdomens of things like Nukari and Surya. I always get her name wrong. Surya. The 2 supposed insectoids, from where I stand, according to Chinese mythology, those are actually dragon turtles. Yeah, they have some myth where turtles can't be born unless they mate with a snake or something like that. And so this might be an indicator of a so-called dragon turtle. Maybe it's an emulation of an egg. I don't know. So good stuff. Again, if you're watching, you should be able to comment on the various social medias, and you can say something to me. I don't know if I'll post everything that you say. So we're talking about different things here. We're talking about the so-called insectoids. Not a fan of that term. We're talking about people speaking of multiple species. I'm not a fan of that term either, to be honest. Again, their morphological structure of the skull it looks pretty much the same, aside from the hybrids, which would make sense. Let's go ahead and just take another look at the tridactyl fetus. I think I found it. I don't know if I did. You guys can tell me, and maybe it's pareidolia, but there's a funny thing about pareidolia. For one, pareidolia, I was told in a psychology class that pareidolia is like this subconscious genetic wiring that's meant to keep us from killing little cute things with big eyes. That's what I was told a long time ago. I don't know if it's true. That would be interesting. Hey, let's take a look at this tab here. I am using Restream, by the way, just so you know, if you're ever interested in how I do some of this stuff. I'm not sure how I do it. I wouldn't be able to do it with the help of you all. Let's watch this video again, shall we?
The eggs of the Tridactyl specimen, known as Artemis. The eggs appear to be in a state of hatching. What one expects to find in the eggs of a tridactyl are pig dragons. Pig dragons were made by the Hongshan culture circa 3500 BC, give or take 1,000 years. Oh, is that one there? Let's follow that anomaly, that appendage off of the large mass of egg. There it goes. We have the upper view, looking down. We're looking upwards at its chin. Is that a face of a tridactyl fetus? Is this the face of a pig dragon?
Let's pause there again real quick. How's everybody doing? Thanks for watching. If you're watching live, I really appreciate it because it just feels better to talk to someone instead of just into the void. So if I know you're there, it's even better. That's why I love when someone just drops me a chat, a little text message. It's really cool. I can share it on the Restream. Other people can see your message. Anyway, I decided to pause it here because I'm really shocked that my paleontologist friends are not interested in this. Does this look like something out of Jurassic Park to you? I mean, I think we're seeing an arm or a fin type structure because keep in mind, according to my theory, and my theories are based on the archaeological evidence of seeing similar metamorphous stages in the archaeological record, and that is reinforced with the ancestral narrative, the myths, the legends, the religions of our people. And I say our people, the people of the earth. I went into these eggs looking for what I believe is a pig dragon. Why? Because I stumbled across the pig dragons of ancient China, and I said, holy shit, these people knew what they were looking at. And so I think you can tell in the art. So I went in looking for pig dragons, and I believe I found them. I don't think this is pareidolia. Pareidolia is like random information that you're using your imagination to form Snoopy in the clouds. This is not Snoopy in the clouds. This is a shape that we were able to follow around in a 360-degree angle. Let's go ahead and share the skull that we think we found on the actual CT scans. And I've tried to introduce this to other people, and it's really become lukewarm. You know, it's hard enough to get people interested in the Tridactyls, right? Have you tried talking about this with anyone? They tune out, man. It's like eyes glaze over. So now imagine I'm talking about these things, but now I want to tell you that what you're looking at on your screen right now, for first time probably in thousands of years, publicly speaking, it's a baby dragon. A dragon. Those things from fantasy. Those things from fantasy were very, very real. And no, they weren't these giant things flying around, unless they were maybe in some craft, I suppose. But they were beings. They were beings. They were serpentine beings. They were reptilian beings. They're also known as the Naga. Let's look at that skull structure real quick. I always say real quick for everything, and it's like, honestly, sometimes it takes me a while to find it. So I'm just going, I try to put most of my stuff definitely goes to X. X is like my first depository. Well, second after, I guess, my download file, right? It's where I put everything. I do put stuff on Facebook. I do put things on Reddit, but X has been my favorite. X is also my subscription too, so go figure. And the people on X have been pretty friendly. Professor DM of the Dungeons and Dragons videos, he called Reddit the Thunderdome of the internet, and that's how it's been. Normally I give people like 3 strikes, like a Tridactyl, 3 strikes before I block them. On Reddit, I'm just like, I'm too old for this shit. And it's like, I expect to have fun with this stuff. Did you like In Search of Growing Up with Leonard Nimoy? I did. Did you like Ancient Aliens and stuff like that? I did. So let's have fun with it still. But there's a lot of people not having fun with it. And I'm trying to have fun with it, but still bring you the archaeological record and maybe biological evidence like we have here. So what you see, the reddish color, is what I believe is a skull that I detected in Artemis's second egg. This was through the CT scans that you can go to at the-alien-project.com, Thierry Hameen and Inkari Institute's site. So what I did was, because I was told that this was pareidolia, that I overlaid a little picture of this guy here. So this is why I say this guy. This is Josephina, and this is supposedly actual size. I hope it is. It's been super useful for just talking and just showing it and, talking about the cortiform, the heart-shaped face, this heart-shaped face that you can find all over the world. Look at the Taino stuff. Look at the Caribbean stuff. A lot of it's kind of playful, kind of stick figure kind of art. And, some of it's very evocative. So I overlaid the model, which is, again, ideally her real size. It doesn't matter once I put it on the Photoshop, right? And then I just overlaid her head with this image that I was told was pareidolia. And after that, I'm able to identify various parts of this skull. I've been staring at this. And then, of course, once I got the model, you could touch it. That's what I wanted to do. I would love to get up to that decapitated head, that cranial head there with the ridges, and just feel them ridges. Hit the ridges. So what do we got on this guy? I probably should have labeled what I call the kappa. That's kind of my original doohickey for that name. That's that little space right here. Go look up the Kappa of Japanese mythology, Kappa, and you'll see these really odd beings that emerge from the water, and the water sits in that little Kappa spot. So we got the corniform-shaped head. We got the Kappa. We got the, sagittal crest would run down the middle, and it's really pronounced on the decapitated head. And there's lots of myths about gods, demons being decapitated. So, also, with the decapitated head, the 2 cranial ridges running along the sides here, I guess you would call those lateral, are also more pronounced. Occipital bun. So we can see how perhaps this bun may be sort of migrated. How do you call that? What happens with its evolutionary change? It's sort of moved up that way, right? The temporal bone, which has been super interesting to me, which a lot of people aren't talking about. The temporal bone is these angular, triangular pieces that come off the head. This might be the inspiration to magical stars and triangles. And you may joke about, what are you talking about magical stars for? Okay, so these beings and the goddesses, what are they always associated with? They're associated with the stars. Names like Ashura and Ishtar and Isis, right? These are all stellar astral names that it's coming from. So what else we got on here? I love the temporal bone. I think it's super freaking interesting. I don't know. I think that's good, though. So again, is this pareidolia? You tell me, because if it is, we're fighting. Let's get off of this screen. Guys, anybody out there? Is there anybody out there? I am doing like a stream today because, a friend of mine, she is currently filming something. So I'm kind of on my own here. So what else can we talk about? What have I been on about lately? Oh, did you see the head from Cyprus? Oh, that's fun. Let me show you the head from Cyprus, okay? So all I got to do is go over to my X page here. I think I'm on the right spot. I don't know. Do you guys know Boss? Do you guys know the the bounty hunter Boss from what is that? Is that Empire Strikes Back? Yeah, tell me, does this guy look like Boss from Empire Strikes Back? I don't know. I think it does. I think it's great. Oh, I'm laughing too soon. I got to show it to you. Hey guys, look at this dude. I don't know. I love this. I think this is, by an artist who may have known these things. I don't know. What do you think? We're slowing down here, folks. Let me try to think of what else we can talk about. I don't know, because a lot of this we just kind of wait to see what's the next science coming out. I've got a lot of different wild theories about different things. Maybe I should just summarize real quick what we're about here at Tridactyls. So, of course, we're not related to theory. We're not related to Jaime Maussan. We are our own thing. And when I say we, I mean me. Unless you're with me, then it's a we. And our goal is kind of education through entertainment. So we hope to keep things fun. And so things may seem a little speculative at times, but we're doing our best to demonstrate with archaeological evidence. So here at the Constant Companion Theory, we think symbols is simple symbols such as arrows may just be derived from tridactyl feet. If these are the post-deluge tutory beings who taught mankind culture and everything else, language, mathematics, science, then something as simple as a simple symbol could easily be attributed to them. And those symbols can include the cordiform-shaped heart, our heart symbol. The shamrock could be three of their faces together. I believe the ionic columns, which come to us via the goddess temples, mind you, goddesses that were frequently associated with eggs and serpents, that those ionic columns kind of come to us via other statues, such as the Zoannon. Yeah, so ancient Greece, they would build these cross-like, like these cypress cruciform figures. Why are they depicting them in little cross-like positions? Well, I relate that to the Chinese letter, the child. The Chinese letter, the child, or Xi, depicts a serpentine child with his hands in the air. Now, of course, scholars don't think it's a serpentine child because they don't have the evidence that we have now. Instead, they say it's a child, swaddled in cloth. I believe that Ganesh is a depiction of this child. They're using steganography. So through steganography, we were able to see hidden tridactyls hidden in the yakshas of India. The yakshas are the guardian beings. They are the guardian beings that flank gods and goddesses. Let's see if we can find the yakshas on my Twitter page real quick. Well, I called it Twitter. I've been really good about not calling it Twitter. I've been calling it X. I've been doing my best. But let's look at the yakshas. And again, yakshas are dwarf-like beings. Another being related to this sort of talk is the Ganas, which is what Ganesh is. Ganesh is the leader of the Ganas. So here's an interesting, let's look at this one. Here's an image of Ganesh that could very well be depicting a being in some sort of larva stage. Now, yes, truth be told, I photoshopped the head of Ganesh off of the statue. I like to be forthcoming. I'm not trying to trick you. But you notice that the bulbous head of Ganesh appears as eyes, and we have some fin-like limbs. And I should let you know that in Tamil, the fact that in Indian in general, in the Hindu culture, the trunk isn't necessarily the trunk. The trunk is a metaphor for a misshapen limb. So if these beings are going through a metamorphosis, they're going to have these, a condition. I'm sorry, you suffer from a condition, you're half serpent. I had to break this to you, Mom. Your kid's half serpent. That's okay. We might all be a 0.001% serpent for all we know. So what are we looking for? We were looking for the child. We were looking for yakshas. We were looking for dwarf characters. Okay, so here we go. Let's watch this video if you don't mind. Probably be just easier that way. Just to show you the video, and it should be playing as we speak. All right, all right. Oh, it's going to play again. How fun. So, the reason I thought this was super cool is that I already assumed the yakshas were stand-ins for the beings. But here's the interesting thing. We dismiss them as dwarves, but even Isis was a dwarf at one time. Isis was the consort of Ptah, and they were shown as little bow-legged human dwarves. So what it appears to me is once the hybrids became the priest kings, right? Hopefully you know about the priest kings. This is Anthropology 101. The priest kings were the segue between the people and the gods. So if you built your temple over an underground waterway, and the gods resided below, and the gods created you essentially, part human, part God, to interact. Maybe we'll hide the big head for a little bit because they're not ready for that. You were the priest kings. So it appears to me, looking at the Hindu iconography, is that the beings became regulated to guardian beings, and they just flanked the new gods, who again were probably hybrids at one point. So I was super happy because I knew the yakshas were stand-ins for the little people. I knew that already. What amazed me was watching the Praveen Mohan video, and as he went over these two yakshas, that I saw the faces. I mean, look at that face that's on the screen right there. Do you know I took that face, I superimposed it to a still shot of the Tridactyls, the Tridactyl fetus, I should say. And I thought this face looked super realistic. When I superimposed it, it matched perfectly. And we have still shots of that. Let's go ahead and look at that. So we're talking about yakshas. I think that these beings should, honestly, and I can't name them myself, I think the beings should be known as Nagi Tridactyls. And maybe the little ones are Nagi Tridactyls yakshas, perhaps. I don't know. And maybe there's other ones out there like Rakshas, which is the large ones. And again, this is all based on Indian myth. So if you know the myth, you know what I'm talking about. Wow, I do forget what I was going to show you, though. That is true. We were talking about the yakshas. Man, I don't remember now. Something about the yakshas and the faces? Oh, I know. Yes, it was about the... so I did make a groovy little graphic that overlays these two pictures. And I described it as, it's almost as though one is reinforcing the other. So here we go. Hyper-realistic statue, perfect match for Tridactyl fetus, question mark. So on the right, we have the statue you just saw. You can probably see the face on your own right now without any help. And on the left, we have the still shot of the fetus, what I claim to be a baby dragon or a baby naga, complete madness. I know that means back in September, before I saw these beings, I was completely sane, right? I know, maybe this just triggered me. So I took these two images and I put them together, and I was amazed at how close they really were. But again, that statue is hyper realistic. So been super happy with many of my predictions. We started off this podcast by saying that I was able to predict their marine origins. I believe that they were hermaphroditic because of tales of Loki. Loki had children. Loki gave birth, right? Loki gave birth to 3, mind you. Set also became pregnant. And when Set became pregnant, a gold disc appeared on his head. Sounds like Montserrat. And then even Yahweh from the Semitic religions of the Middle East said, I was Shaddai and I am Yahweh now. So it is though they change sexes. Maybe once they give birth, that's it. They don't have to give birth again. I don't know. Parthenogenesis, why do I think that's a possibility? Because again, the myths say things like the serpent mother goddess thought herself into creation or was able to become pregnant on her own, and that would sort of imply a scientific explanation of parthenogenesis. We're waiting to see the metamorphosis come true. We believe that metamorphosis, who is we? It's just me. I believe the metamorphosis is depicted in such things as the Magatama, little stone larvas, your paisleys, they're on your ties. That is a multi-millennium old symbolism related to fertility. Hell, a paisley might even be depicting an egg within a larva. Other metamorphoses include these pig dragons. I believe after the pig dragons are around for a bit, they start to pop out limbs. Oh, we got it. It's like pre-4th of July around here. Okay, Bentley, that's a good boy. Metamorphosis, I think they also transcend into a quadruped stage, a quadrupedal stage, which you see in the Egyptian Sphinx. Don't scoff. Don't scoff. The head dimensions are very similar. Same with the Lion Rock of Sri Lanka. Very similar. Very similar. But where else can we find these quadrupedal beings, this quadrupedal metamorphosis stage? I think they're in the water panthers of North America. I think they're in the netted jaguars of Mesoamerica. Why are they called netted? Because of a cross-hatching pattern on their skin. Cross-hatching pattern. Okay? Am I starting to sound like I'm about to build mashed potato towers? If so, I'm sorry. I'm excited. And the more I say this, the more it becomes even clearer to me. I don't know. Look into the ceramics. Look for cross-hatching, hashtag style, checkered kind of style. I believe this is an indicator of reptilian skin. It's indicating their own. I've seen the close-ups, the cross-hatching in their skin, and their scoots. They have scoots. They have keratin growths on their skin that are super interesting. Wow. How long have I been going? I've been going for a long time and not even a peep from anybody. Yeah, geez. I've been making it a habit of doing an hour, so I'll probably go for an hour anyway, right? Just kind of stick to it. So it is 47 minutes in. That's how long I've been doing this. I don't know how long you've been here, but you are welcome to either post a chat, send me a private message if you want to hop on and say hello. Hell, you could even be rude to me, and I might even post that, depending how rude you are. I'm willing to accept some rudeness to a degree. I don't know what else you all are interested in as far as this phenomenon goes, but other strange things. I believe the constellations are depicting these things. So Capricornus is showing the wide head of the beings, and of course, Capricornus is the really the best way to describe it. I think we mistranslate sometimes the names. I would describe Capricornus as the marine animal with the goat-like horns, like water goat or goat in the ocean. I don't know if that helps people. Marine animal with the goat-like horns. That's Capricornus. In fact, you might even know the island of Capri. And the island of the Capri has a passing resemblance to a tridactyl profile. That sounds crazy, right? But hear me out. New Zealand, which one of its names is the god with the eyes looking up. If you look at New Zealand, that too has a wide head, kind of like the sign Capricornus, and has two water pits or something that are like eyeballs for the so-called god of the island. It's out there. I believe that humanity, at the end of the day, is a tridactyl-derived culture. I believe we were culturally imprinted, that maybe even some of our own myths aren't even ours. It's their story. their story, and they may have just passed it on to us. It's interesting. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm just going to do a quick little troll on my own page. Just that way, maybe it'll spark something in my head that makes me want to say something cool to you or make a fool of myself. Well, let's talk about, I talked about the scoots, yes? Oh, I just got a message in my ear. I should see who that is, right? Dun, 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 dun. And it's somebody sending me food pictures. Nothing cool there. Okay? Nothing cool there. I was going to show you guys something cool, though. One last cool thing. We were talking about the scoots. Oh, wait, no. I know what I want to show you guys. Check out this stuff. All right. Okay. So these are in Southeast Asia. Very interesting. One of the names is Calambras. Of course, Ka is one of the phonemes I try to chase around the planet. I noticed that this Ka phoneme is frequently depicted with two tridactyl limbs upwards as the letter. So my theory is Ka, which becomes Ya to the west, if I'm not mistaken, that Ka is the name of the alpha being, the horned serpent, if you will, the one who's causing all the trouble. While Ki may be the beta female, the mother goddess, and that Ki later becomes T. It can become Chi and Si, and I believe this phoneme also moves around the planet. So Ka and Ki, and my guess it's leaving from Southeast Asia, perhaps like Sri Lanka, may have been one of the, may have been like Asia Prime base for the beings. So what are we looking at? We're looking at these stone vessels, from what I understand, that are about the size of a hot tub. Now, the locals have a myth that those were actually created in a kiln, okay? And that it was like some sort of ceramic batter, if you will, ceramic mix that they used. What's interesting, I think, is that the lids appear to have fertility positions on them. That is and I don't even know if anybody's out can support this. Some of my theories are strictly mine. I believe we're allowed to make new theories because we have bodies now that essentially change everything. So here we have what appears to me to be fertility positions, beings in a all fours squatting position, ready to birth. So my question is then, if I'm correct, what are these containers? What are these containers? And again, the locals have some legend that a giant used these to brew rice wine. That sounds very playful. Possible. Oh, also, and some archaeologists say that they were for burial rites, but scant evidence, and I don't know if they found any burial within them, right? It's kind of, is that what they do with the pyramids too? It's like, oh, it's a tomb. I don't know. I'm skeptical. I believe all science can be adapted. And that's the thing. We have a lot of scientists who have been around for a long time, who have been very cocky and arrogant and unable to adjust to the new data. And the new data is, we got bodies, y'all, to quote Jack from Cosmic Road. So aren't those wild? And look at the little beings on there. I don't know. I thought this one was cool, if you ask me. Good stuff. Yeah. Okay, so we're about to wrap it up here. Last 6 minutes or so for anybody that wants to drop a text or would like to pop on the show for 5 minutes. I hate having people come on at the last minute, to be honest, because then it's like you want to talk, and I've already been on for like an hour. So I am like worn out, you know what I mean? I lose a lot of energy doing this. And, I've been doing this since September. Again, I've just been trying to do my best to use my bachelor's of arts in anthropology and social sciences with my certificate in ethnic studies to try to bring as much truth as possible. And when I speculate, I'm speculating on data that I'm inferring. I'm inferring a hypothesis from the data. So I don't mind people calling me out on things, but a lot of this stuff, it's hard to prove either way sometimes. And I guess a lot of people could just chalk everything off as, well, you don't know. You don't know. And it's like, I don't really like when people just say, well, you don't know, because it kind of just ends the conversation. There is no longer any debate. There is nothing to discuss. I hope you all get a magic hat to wear. It's very hot. I don't know. Does it help me with the woo? I'm trying to help my woo, I went and bought, instead of Vibram 5 Toes, I got some other off-brand, but I don't think it was really off-brand. It was like some surfing brand. You can help me out with that. And I bought these new Vibrams, which are, they're Vibrams are 5-toe, right? I bought these, and they're 3 toes. Yep, you got one for your big toe, one for your second toe, and then your other 3 just go in its own section. So they're actually Tridactyl shoes I have on. How cool is that? I'm hoping with the Tridactyl shoes and my hat, I will be able to achieve full woo. Wow. I also like to talk about fun things now and then. I'm reminded of how I used to do some of my other shows. And so I'd love to hear from you guys about what's some of your favorite fandom when it comes to aliens and whatnot. Is it E.T. and Close Encounters? Is it everyone's favorite Tridactyl, Yoda? By the way, I got some more of these guys. I don't know how well you can see those. You should be able to see them once I put them in the light, right? Maybe I should turn off the light so you can see them better. Awesome. Yeah, these are these little, they're actually from Princess Mononoke or whatever the name is, that anime. But they're kami. They're like Japanese spirits, but they're so much like the Tridactyls. Specifically, they look like the Nazca mummies that I buy those and then I give them away to people and just to start the conversation about them. Because we're at the start of a huge wave, right? There's going to be just massive adoption, almost like cryptocurrency. If you got into the cryptocurrency early, there's still time, of course. There's going to be a huge wave of adoption when the world goes that direction. And eventually the world's going to be like, hey, Tridactyls are real. Let's make some content. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. I've been trying to do around an hour. So I'm looking at my clock, and technically I have 3 minutes left. I did just show you something cool. What else could I show real quick? Let's see if we can find something. I just like to go through, and sometimes I just pick a culture and that sends me on my way. Oh, some pottery someone posted. So of course my theory with pottery is that pottery may actually depict Tridactyl beings. So let's take a look at this. Is just some random pottery from Crystal River that somebody posted. And I don't know, let's take a look at it. It's my first time seeing it as you are. So what do we see? It looks like we're looking at a profile. And again, this is Crystal River, Florida. We're looking at a profile from a being. Is that a large Tridactyl type eye? Is that a cordiform ridge, a supraorbital ridge? Do the little dots represent either a serpentine being or perhaps the scutes or skin of the Tridactyl? It looks like it's hollow. I see a lot of things that are hollow on the top or have little concave indentations like the Kappa of Japan. So I don't know. Even the color is it reminds me of the printed one, right? Okay, so here we go. We got somebody. See, all I needed was Universe to hop on and say something. And now we've got a groovy comment from Universe on the screen. How freaking cool is that? And Uni writes, that is indeed a baffling resemblance. And what's fun about this, Uni, is that I just went to one guy's site who just posts pottery and archaeology. Nothing to do with Tridactyls. And then even still, there's interesting things, such as this piece here. Is this piece depicting, possibly, is it emulating the fingerprints of a tridactyl? I like to even imagine, is it possible that tridactyls may have actually touched pottery and left an impression? You know, there's a type of pottery in Florida called fabric impressed. And apparently they took some sort of plant-based fiber. You know what I mean. And they pressed it to the clay and it left an impression. Interesting. Wow. And I am officially out. That has been 1 hour. I think that's a good time for me to rant. That'll be my new set schedule. If I can do 60 minutes, then I'm winning. And if I have other people on the show, I can probably do 90 minutes or 2 hours. Love to have you on. Love to talk. Oh, wait, here we go. Let's go. One more message from Uni. We'll leave you with that. Not just pottery, but depicted in tools such as tumis. What's a tumi? Dietist gods, what have you. Oh, I don't know what that means. To be continued, Uni. I appreciate this comment. I am ending stream. Live long and prosper. I'm your host, Alien Ed of Tridactyls.com, at Tridactyls, host of the Constant Companion Theory. We